Hello, this is Claude Sports Corner, and I am talking NBA Western Conference Finals. It will be Game 6. The Houston Rockets are up 3-2 with a chance to close out the Golden State Warriors. They will be at the Oracle Arena, and unfortunately, as of this taping, Chris Paul will be out with a hamstring injury due to the last game, which he valiantly played through. Remember, he was abysmal in the first half, but he was a man possessed in the second half, and a huge reason as to why the Houston Rockets are a game away from the NBA Finals. Now, unfortunately, in my opinion, if Chris Paul is going to be out, that means, to me, Golden State will even up the series at 3 and take it back to the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Now, as far as I'm concerned, remember at the beginning of these playoffs, when I did my Western Conference preview, I said that James Harden will more than likely win the MVP, but he is not their best player. Chris Paul is. And as you have seen in these playoff games, especially these Western Conference Finals, it has been Chris Paul who has willed this team. Now, Harden has been abysmal. In fact, you could make a case that the last couple of games, James Harden tried to lose the games for the Houston Rockets. Now, I'm not going to go that far. In fact, I could also make the case that in the pivotal game, I'll say Game 4, he turned the tide of the series with the slam and disrespect of Draymond Green, which he deserved. And I have to be fair, James Harden, even though he has struggled, listen, it's not like he's missing by a lot. I mean, he's missing shots, and I understand that he took entirely way too many threes. He was, if I'm not mistaken, 0 for 19 from 3 over the last couple of games. That's unacceptable. But you can tell that he's a hot streak away from a 40-point performance. He really is. It's not like he's John Starks and missing everything. And if you guys remember the John Starks game for the Knicks, that was a Game 7. Now, Patrick Ewing had to also share blame in that. I mean, when you score 2 points in both fourth quarters in Game 6 and 7, you don't deserve to win an NBA championship, and you claim to be a superstar player. But I digress. Well, hey, that's me going off again. I apologize. Hey, I'm a little old. What can I tell you? But let's take it back to this current series. The 3 most important players for the Houston Rockets, their 3 best players, I'll say, during this Western Conference Finals have been Chris Paul, Gordon coming off the bench, and B.J. Tucker have been phenomenal. Eric Gordon, outside of Chris Paul, Eric Gordon has hit every big shot that the Houston Rockets have needed. And even though he has not been talked about a lot, and a lot of talk has been about Clint Capella's defense, which has been pretty good. I mean, and Capella has done his job, but B.J. Tucker has done the dirty work. He has rebounded. He has bump and grind. I mean, he has been very physical. And that's something that we all know you need to do against the Golden State Warriors because, let's face it, they are not a physically imposing team. When the so-called enforcer is Draymond Green, and let's face it, they've treated him like a wet food stamp in the paint. I mean, James Harden has dunked on him, has posterized him a couple of times. And Draymond tried to return the favor and got rejected by Clint Capella. So, and that's another thing, too. While my mind is still activated here, I don't want to hear any more comparisons to Draymond Green and Charles Barkley. Now, anybody that knows me knows I hate Charles Barkley with a passion. I mean, I have no respect for that coon bastard. Remember, this is the same Charles Barkley who once upon a time said that black women smell funny. So I have very little to no respect for him. And let's face it, his wife, and I'm not saying that because she's white, because you can, I mean, you marry who you want. I mean, you do what you want, but don't be talking about your own women like that, Charles. I mean, so in your estimation, your mother, grandmother, aunt, and nieces smell funny. So you're just a disgrace, and there's a lot of self-hate. But let's face it, I mean, his wife has the sex appeal of a garbage can. I mean, let's face it, that woman's ugly. I'm sorry. I don't care what race you call her. That bitch is ugly. First and foremost. Point blank, period. But I digress. Now, as far as being a better basketball player, it's not even close. Draymond Green will never win the MVP. Charles Barkley won an MVP. You could have made a case he could have won a couple more. But of course, remember, he was playing in an era where Michael Jordan was far and beyond the best player in the league. In fact, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. The three best players in the league during Charles Barkley's era were Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and Hakeem Olajuwon. In that order. Trust me. Because remember, when Barkley came in as a rookie in 1985, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, he and Jordan were in the same rookie class as Hakeem Olajuwon. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were the kings of the hill in the NBA. Remember, Kareem had won his final MVP in 1980, which would be Magic Johnson's rookie year. And Charles Barkley was a top 5 player during his heyday with Philadelphia and later on the Phoenix Suns. I mean, Charles Barkley would routinely give you 25 and 15. He was a phenomenal juggernaut of a player. Draymond Green couldn't do that if you paid him. Charles Barkley in big games would give you 35 and 25 in his sleep. I tell you what, ask Chris Webber, because he dropped 56 on him, and that wasn't even prime Charles Barkley. That was Charles Barkley just a year before the decline. That's how great a player Charles Barkley was. Draymond Green couldn't carry his jockstrap, let alone wash it. And as you see, he has been exposed. He is the most overrated player. In fact, you know what? No, yeah, he is the most overrated player. But I tell you who is a close second. And I have to go back to him. That's my man, KD, Kevin Durant. In fact, you know what? I'm going to come up with a new nickname for Kevin Durant. He is such an embarrassing player. He really is. I mean, there is no way when you have a 7'3" wingspan and that you're 6'11", he's really 7 foot, but as I mentioned, 7'3" wingspan, there's no way that Chris Paul, 6'1.5", should be able to guard you face up. That's a disgrace. I mean, those are guys that are switching on you, and you can't take advantage of that, and if shot as poorly as he has, it's not like he's going to rise up and block your shot. I mean, you letting him body you and move you around? That's a disgrace. So, in fact, I'm going to try and come up with a better nickname for Kevin Durant, because I've called him soft, of course. I've called him KY Durant. I mean, I've referred to him as a new style of Kotex tampons, but I'm going to be a little more respectful. You know who Kevin Durant's new nickname? What's the name of that teddy bear on the fabric softener? That's his. In fact, yeah, that's it. Snuggles. That's a good nickname for him. So I hereby call Kevin Durant Kevin Snuggles Durant. That is his new nickname. So, I digress, ladies and gentlemen. So, instead of KD, I will refer to Durant as Snuggles from here on in. So, you'll know who I'm talking about from now on. Please like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. This is Claude Sports Quarter. Please take care and God bless.